what's up, what's good? It's your girl Jasmine back with another video on the channel. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Okay, let's go. Alright, so this is 5 times. 5 times Larry Bird was injured, but didn't quit. I didn't know nothing about these videos until somebody told me about these videos, so I appreciate you. And I'm glad to see that y'all enjoying the Larry Bird videos. I really am, because I love basketball, so this brings joy to me. And I like to learn new things about people, because the other video I did not know that much about Larry Bird, and it was kind of sad that I didn't know, especially how big of a basketball fan I am. So I hope y'all keep putting me on to different things, not even just Larry Bird, but other people as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. 5 times he was injured, but didn't quit. Let's get it. Oh yeah, if you're new to the channel, thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you support the channel and watch all my videos, and make sure you subscribe and push that notification bell if you are a continuous supporter. I appreciate you, because you didn't have to click on this video, but yet you still choose to support me, so I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. With that being said, like it up, comment, talk to me down below. Let's get it.
Injuries and absolutely dominated. So the first injury we're going to look at is from 1979, before Larry Bird was even in the NBA.
Okay.
The injury occurred in a friendly softball game with Larry Bird's brother as well as friends. And here's Jackie McMullen explain this very bizarre and peculiar injury.
Well, he shows up, and who's on the other team but
Okay,
his
I heard.
brother? So Larry's playing out in the outfield, and his brother hits this kind of spinning, looping ball, almost like a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. It's just spinning all over the place. And Larry tries to go down and make a basket catch, and his finger goes all the way back, and he's like, man, wow, it really hurts. And he looked down, and his finger was completely dislocated and mangled, and you know, it really was bothering me. He had to stop playing right away. And so now remember, he's been drafted by the Celtics during this point, but he has not signed a contract yet.
Oh, dang.
So his finger is in a bad way. He has to have major surgery with clips put in and pins and everything else. And he never tells the Celtics this has happened. But, you know, sooner or later they get word, and they summon him to Boston. And the trainer examines him and says, then the team doctor examines him, and they say to Red Auerbach,
Yo, how you think they found out? Like, do you think he just ended up telling him? Because of course he said he wasn't going to tell him because he didn't want to mess up his chances. But I wonder how they found out. It's not like there was social media back then. You know what I'm saying? It had to have been somebody snitching, a hater. Because I don't know. I wonder how they found out.
this guy's damaged goods. Now,
Unless he went through a
really?
physical.
So he
and
says,
then
come on,
they
Larry,
figure
get
out.
dressed. So Larry puts on his stuff. Red throws him the ball. He goes out. He starts shooting from all over the floor. He's hitting from everywhere. Throws him a few bounce passes. Has him throws a few overhead passes. And he said, you look fine to me, kid. And Bird said, great. But Bird to this day will tell you he's never had the same feel for the basketball.
Dang.
So obviously a pretty bad finger injury that affected Bird for the rest of his life. And around 2010, Larry Bird gave an interview and said his finger to this day
Smells like a boomerang. Dang, how the 2 operations failed to straighten it. It was that bad?
is shaped like a boomerang
Dang.
at a 45-degree angle pointing toward his thumb. And he's had 2 surgeries that have failed to straighten it out. But I think the most intriguing thing in that clip is that Larry Bird himself said he never had the same feel for the basketball after this injury.
But was a
And Bird, for his
monster.
career already, was one of the best shooters of all time. He was the first player ever to win the 50-40-90 club, and he routinely shot over 90% from the line. But with that being said, Bird actually could have been a better shooter than he was in the NBA if it wasn't for that devastating finger injury. Now, next up on the Bird injury list, we go to his back, one of the worst injuries a player could ever have. And this injury for Bird occurred in 1985 in the middle of his prime. And his doctor, as well as a few commentators, talking about how tough Bird was and how difficult it was for him to even play a basketball game.
Dang.
Larry had 2 jobs his last 7 years of playing. It was playing basketball, and then it was him being committed to taking care of his back.
He had first heard it in 1985.
Timeout, flag on the play. I'm calling y'all out. How come y'all didn't tell me Larry had a bad back injury like that? Low key, I feel like don't nobody talk about this era anymore. Like, I really don't feel like they do.
Building the driveway at his mom's house back in French Lick.
Larry decides to do it himself. This is Larry Bird, the superstar, out there breaking his back, literally shoveling gravel. And that was the beginning of a process.
I would see him on TV laying down, and then they told me that he had to lay down on planes, different things like that. I was like, wow.
as magic soared
And this goes back to show how far we have grown. Because look at, like, the type of doctors you have now, the technology, the devices that you have that can help with that. And then back then, it's like, they really didn't have it. They didn't have it. So it was like, besides probably a massage, he had a doctor, but did he have a, like, was there a travel doctor back then? Was there anything that they could do, like, besides, like, little massages? Or I don't even know if, like, the little pain shots was out back then, which I heard those are terrible, by the way. But that's just crazy. He had really, really bad back pain. And, you know, like, I don't, like, if somebody can give me an estimate how much they was probably making back then, too, even though cost of living was way cheaper. But still, like, everything was just
through the
different.
prime of his career.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
If you want to be on camera, you want to be behind the camera, you want to do radio, podcast, whatever it is.
Bird was breaking down. His deteriorating back and punishing style of play proving an excruciating mix.
From 88 to 92, it was painful to watch. It was painful to cover. Larry is quite ornery when he's not feeling well, which means he was ornery for those next 4 years.
He could manage the pain in a way that very few people can do.
If you get paid to go to work, you got to go to work.
It was a situation that he was seeing almost daily. He had lost the structural stability in his spine. So it would slip into abnormal positions to try and lock itself to get an artificial.
So you telling me this man had, like, literally life-ending injury type of thing, and he was still trash talking these dudes, still dropping 50, 30, 40, and 20 a night? Man,
Stability.
that's crazy.
That's like getting your finger stuck in a door and somebody's still pushing on the door. So what we had to do was unlock his spine, realign it, do techniques that would hold that for 4 hours, 6 hours, that type of thing, and then he'd go play basketball.
So obviously that back injury was pretty devastating for Bird, and it kind of marked the end of his prime. But even with that being said,
This may be
Bird
a
in his
silly
last 7
question, but was there
seasons still put up
chiropractors back
tremendous
then?
stats,
But
averaging
I know
25
sometimes that
offense per
don't,
game,
that don't
9.3
help
boards,
either.
7.0 assists
I don't know.
on near 50, 40,
I'm just
90
talking, y'all.
splits.
Don't mind
Those
me.
stats right there from an offensive perspective are still some of the best stats of all time. And once again show Bird could handle pain like few athletes ever. And one of the most remarkable things I've
That's
ever
how I be
heard
looking on
comes from
2K.
Larry Bird's former
Woo!
teammate, that being Robert Parrish.
We looking just
According
like
to Parrish,
it.
Larry Bird never took painkillers, pills, or any shots in his entire career.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I kind of like that I heard, because a lot of people get stuck on that, you know? He was like, no, I'm going to fight through this myself.
Bird simply toughed it out and showed mental toughness
Even
as
though
well as
it hurts
physical
in the
toughness,
long run.
and played basketball at the highest level for 7 more years.
That's
now, also, one
crazy.
thing Larry Bird was
Did
known
people,
for
did his
was
opponents
being
know that?
mentally tough. And
You
here's
know what
a
I'm saying? Like, was that in the scouting report? Did we know? Did the Celtics release that, or was that more like a hush hush thing, and then we found out once his career was over with? You know, was that one of those situations?
quick story from Kevin Micheal talking about Larry Bird's mental toughness after being stuck down in an airport for 10 straight hours.
Back then when we flew commercial, we didn't fly private. We played in a Tuesday night game in Cleveland. And of course, we got up for the first flight out. We had a game on Wednesday night in New Jersey. Snowstorm hits Cleveland. We're at the airport at 7 in the morning. Flight's canceled at 7. It's canceled at 8. It's canceled at 9. It's canceled at 10. Canceled at 11, 12. We finally leave about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. We fly up to New Jersey. Now the storm has kind of moved into Jersey. And the bus driver says, well, I can't get to the hotel and to the arena. I can only go to one place. Well, we had a game that night. We go to the arena. So we get to the arena, and I mean, we're dragging. And we're sitting around the locker room, and, and everybody's kind of, we're tired. And, and all of a sudden, the coach gives a little bit of a speech of, come on, man, guys, we're playing basketball. Let's get ready to go. And Larry stands up, and Larry says, a couple other few choice words, and he says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take it out on their rear ends. So I was like, oh, all right, so let's go. So we go on the floor.
He said, woo, all right.
King sitting there, and Larry walks up to Albert King and goes, don't take this butt whooping personally. I've been eating hot dogs all day. And then Albert King looks at him like, you've been eating hot dogs all day? What's that got to do with me? And we went out and just hammered him. I mean, we terrorized him. And that was Larry. There was no excuses. I mean, he just played. And I tell you, that was just his competitive nature. But a day when you...
And also, don't it, like, It's funny how people are in way better shape when they retire. You know, like at least some, not all. But I know it's like for football athletes, um, sometimes basketball athletes too. Like they are in way better shape after they retire because like they have time to take care of their body now. Like even though you feel like they would have the time during the season, but when I was listening to a podcast, it was a athlete. I think it was Iman Shumpert. He was just saying like you don't like it's just practice. Of course, like you would think like you're on a eating regimen like how you're supposed to, but it's just like practice, sleep, practice again, or travel, game day, woo woo woo. He was like, it's just literally. He said sometimes you just get sunk into the back to back motion. You just eat when you can, type of thing. He said besides like when you out of league or when you're not playing at the moment, you have a set schedule, you know. But I feel like it would be the opposite, but I guess not.
Toughness. And when it came to playing basketball, he would give it his best every single night. And I actually went back to Larry Bird's game charts, and I found this game from 1986 on April 13th. In this game, Boston beat New Jersey by 28 points. Larry Bird had 26, 4, and 3 on 64% shooting, and he didn't miss a single three-pointer or a single free throw. And what makes it even more impressive to me is this game versus New Jersey was the last game of the season. Bird could have easily packed it in and waited for the playoffs, but still, he wanted to play this game for his teammates as well as his coaches. And that year in 86, Larry Bird didn't miss a single game playing all 82.
See what I'm saying? That's that toughness. That's that toughness that I miss. That's that mental toughness. That's that physical toughness. That's that all-around toughness that I miss with basketball players. Just because, like, if that was nowadays, ain't no way that player would be playing. No way. Whether they wanted to play or not, there's no way that player is playing. Just because of the safety of that player. You already made the playoff spot. You know you're going into the playoffs. No reason to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, they not playing. But back then, I'm giving you my all because this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what the fans came to see. Forget that I'm injured, even though this injury is bothering me day in, day out. He came in there and played and acted like that injury was nothing. Like I said, I wonder if like other teams knew about the
injuries. And if you compare that mindset from Bird to the modern day players, it's simply night and day. I pretty much guarantee you, any modern day superstar will 100% sit out that game and rest in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But not Larry Bird. And when talking about Larry Bird in his prime, 1980 to 86, really before his big-time injuries, he played 561 out of 574 games. He played all 82 games 3 times and over 36 minutes per game every single year.
That's crazy.
In 2 years, he actually led the NBA in minutes per game. So back in the day, Larry Bird, if he could walk, he was 100% suiting up and playing basketball. But the one time in Bird's career where he simply could not play was in 1989. This year, Larry Bird had severe bone spurs, he had what many people thought was a broken foot, and he had double Achilles surgery.
Dang.
And back in the day, an Achilles injury could possibly be the end of your career.
Heck, that's still today's time too. Achilles in your career, just like, hey. Excuse me. Double Achilles surgery, that is great. That's intense, boy.
But once again, not for Larry Bird. As the following year, he had a very great and underrated season, averaging 24.3 points per game, 9.5 boards, 7.5 assists, while playing 75 games at 39.3 minutes per game, while leading the NBA in free throw percentage. So even after all those injuries, Larry Bird once again came back to all-star form, and he overcame double Achilles surgery. Now, the last Bird injury we have is in 1991, and this injury is also the last great Larry Bird moment in the 91 playoffs versus the Indiana Pacers. And to kind of set the stage, in this series, Boston, they were heavily favored, but in games 1 through 4, Bird was not playing up to par, only averaging 18 points per game, 9 assists, 8 boards, on 37% shooting, and 11% from 3. And back in the day in the first round, it was a best-of-5 series. So Game 5 was a winner-take-all game.
Dang, it was best of 5 back then. Which sometimes I feel like that's all that you need, because sometimes 7 is a lot of games. You know, like, what y'all think? Y'all think the playoff time, they should lower the limit? Like, they should go back to 5? Do you think they should be one and done like college? Do you think college should do, like, best of 3? Like, I feel like, but, of course, college, I feel like that takes away the side of March Madness. But then again, what y'all think?
At halftime of this game, Larry Bird would go down with a severe head injury, possibly a broken cheekbone, and a mild concussion.
Right here, the swipe knocks it free. Bird on the floor, then left hand keeps
it
but he stays down for a long time.
hit it hard.
What effort by Larry
Ooh.
Bird. And Larry Bird is headed directly.
I'm surprised he can even walk out.
But in typical Larry Bird fashion, he would tough it out and come back in the middle of the third quarter.
And here comes
Probably didn't even know where he was at, boy. Just playing.
but certainly this out of the pages of Willis Reed in game.
And just think, bro, he was playing that hard, doing all this. Like, that's crazy. And who reminds you of Larry Bird in today's time? Like, whose game reminds you of Larry Bird? Let me know.
Of the championship series involving the Knicks and the Lakers in 69.
Maybe Dirk?
In
Maybe.
this game 5 in the
But then
Boston
again,
Garden,
Dirk ain't doing
from that
those
moment on,
passes.
Larry
Dirk
Bird would dominate
wasn't.
the remaining 18
Dirk
minutes
wasn't
of that
holding,
game,
handling the
having
ball like
17
that. He had a
points,
nice
7
shot.
boards and 5 assists on 60% shooting.
So
leading
nah, I wouldn't
Boston
say
to a
Dirk because you gotta
3-point
think
win.
Larry was controlling
In
that
that game
rock.
5 versus Indy,
What
the
was
last
Bird, a
great
small
Larry
forward?
Bird moment as he overcame injury and dominated in that
I
second
don't
half.
know.
So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. How tough do you
I done changed sides on the screen on y'all, my fault. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think of this video of his 5 injuries. That's crazy. So basically his whole entire career was based off injuries. Just imagine, and he was still a beast. You know what I'm saying? He was still a dog. He was still that guy. And he was still trash talking too. He has all these injuries, trash talking, still putting dudes in their place. That's crazy. So just imagine how he would have been if he didn't have any of those injuries. Insane. Insane, like for real. So y'all gotta let me know what y'all think of this video. Any other videos you'd like to see me do. Like I also said, who would you, like, is today's game, who would you compare Bird to? Or their game is like his? Honestly, I cannot think of anybody off the top of my head. But definitely let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. With that being said, see you guys next video.